Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Thursday, July the 9th. This is episode number 354. I'm your host, Rod Bloom. Joining me tonight is my brother, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how are things going?
I'm going pretty good, Rod. Hopefully, my recording quality is a little bit better tonight. We're just trying everything to eliminate some of the problems we've been having technically on my end. So
I think you're looking pretty crisp tonight, Jeff.
yeah, hopefully tonight's good. We're trying to clean it up.
Joining us tonight is our friend Susan Fisher. Susan, it's great to have you back. Always great talking some Browns with you. You can follow Susan at Brownstown76. How are things going?
Going pretty good. Loving the summertime. But
Yeah.
ready for football.
Yeah, especially when we're in all of this heat.
Yes.
It kind of makes you long for the days of football, but yeah, I think Jeff and I kind of mentioned it last week. You don't want to wish your summer away, but
No.
we're kind of anxious to get to some meaningful football news and some events and maybe even some actual practice, some games and things like that. So
It should be interesting.
it should be, and it'll be here before we know it.
Yes,
That's
it will
right.
be. That's it. That's the truth.
Yeah. So I don't know that either one of you guys are drinking anything. We usually do our Blitz beverages. I think Jeff's skipping it tonight. Susan, do you have anything you're drinking you want to talk about?
Not really. Just Old Faithful. My Bud Light Platinum.
But that looks like a pretty good sized can. Is that the 24 ounce?
Yeah, it's a tall boy.
Okay.
I just sip on that.
Okay.
Make it last.
I'll just real quick talk about this, and I'm not going to put our banner up or anything, but just because it's a Great Lakes beer, and my son-in-law brought this last weekend, and I ended up with the extras, and he's like, "Well, I'll just drink, some more of these when I come over." And I don't know if there's going to be any left because they're kind of a really good summer beer. It's this strawberry pineapple wheat.
Really?
Yeah, it almost. I mean, it's kind of sweet, so I wouldn't try drinking like multiple in a row because it might be a little sweet. But man, if you're feeling kind of warm on a summer's day, this is pretty thirst quenching. It's a nice beer. And I mean,
it's great. What did you say? Great Lakes pineapple and
Great Lakes strawberry pineapple wheat.
wow.
Didn't know they did something like that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, it's something I definitely would have tried if I would have seen it. And Josh saw it and brought it last weekend, and we tried it, and I ended up with the leftovers, and I had one cut in the grass, and now I'm having another one because they're pretty good.
Cool.
Do you have the holiday ones? Do you like the holiday Great Lake beers?
Yeah. Oh, the Christmas ales, definitely.
Yep.
And yeah, and I would say most of the other ones too. I can't say that I've had all of the Great Lakes beers. I mean, a lot of people listening have probably had, all of the Great Lakes beers because it's a Cleveland brewery. I have the ones that I like and I kind of stick with those, but I can't say I've ever been disappointed with a Great Lakes beer.
Gotcha.
Which is the right answer for a Cleveland podcast.
Right.
Yes. So guys, let's that's going to end an abbreviated Blitz beverages segment without the
Yes,
banner.
it was.
So guys, there's really not a ton going on as far as the Browns go. So that just means that we get to talk about just some fun stuff. I mean, the only real news was about this, about insurance money for Watson's contract and that, and I can't think of anything more boring to talk about. So we're just gonna. I mean, seriously,
It is.
So we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen.
My only comment on that, Rod, would be that when I look at over the cap, it's showing the Browns having $16 million in cap space as we sit here today. I don't know how accurate that is or up to date that is, but what it tells me is that we still have some room to add some talent, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
We didn't think we would have that for quite a while after that trade went down with him. We thought for
Right.
sure it would be far longer than that.
Oh yeah, we expected to be digging out of this Watson deal for decades,
Quite a
right?
while. Yep.
But we're sitting fine.
Yeah, it's not. Browns are not that far away from having room to, to actually do something at the quarterback position if that's what they need to do. Or add talent elsewhere. Yeah, I mean a season or two away, pretty much. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So guys, I took it upon myself to decide that we would talk about kind of the back seven of the defense tonight, just because we really haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
So we'll just spend a little bit of time, and it's all preliminary. We don't even know who's going to be on the team yet, but we kind of have a pretty good idea on who the starters are going to be at this point. So just kind of talking expectations on who those players are going to be and things like that. So I thought we'd start with the linebackers. Linebackers kind of interesting because, the Browns lose a couple players there. And, Devin Bush, who
had his best year. Jeez.
He had a great season last year. I'm sure a lot of people wanted him back. I think it surprised us and probably most everybody the size of the deal that he got with the Bears. I think the number you thought, Jeff, was a bit higher than what he actually got. So
yeah, I thought actually he would get more.
Yeah, so the Browns lose Devin Bush. They lose Mahmoud Diabate too. And
Jerome Baker.
Sorry?
Jerome Baker.
And Jerome Baker, yeah.
Yeah.
And they bring in Quincy Williams, and they draft Justin Jefferson, and they got some other guys further down the depth chart. So I guess really my first question was, how do you guys feel about the going in with Quincy Williams? Yeah, with Quincy Williams there and Devin Bush gone, because that's kind of the trade-off. I'm assuming the Browns are still going to play a lot of, two linebacker defenses this year. 5 DBs or 5 guys on the line, however you want to say it. There's going to be 2 linebackers on the field a lot, and it's going to be those 2 guys, Schlesinger and Quincy Williams. So
Williams.
Yeah. Did the Browns compensate for the loss of Devin Bush? Are you guys kind of optimistic about Quincy Williams? Susan, what do you think?
I think so, honestly. I know Bush has been around for a while, and it really hurt him leaving. But I was doing some reading today, and the defensive coordinator said that he was going to take the back half and kind of line them up all over. And I think we have success when we do that. And I think that really allows our linebackers to shine. Schlesinger, he's incredible. He reminds me of Clay Matthews so much. It's insane. Just his knack for the football and stuff. It'll be interesting, only because we're used to having that man get to the quarterback quicker. I don't know if Jared Verse is going to, how he's going to pan out, but I know we got some young guys on that D line. If they can eat, I think our linebackers will be just fine, honestly. And with Hickman and Delpit and, them putting them in different positions, I think that'll be beneficial too and help the linebacking core out quite a bit.
Yeah, Jeff, what are your thoughts on that trade-off?
I'm just looking at Quincy Williams' stats here. I mean, he's 30 years old. He's the veteran in that room.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty much the same age as Devin Bush. Um, he's been around the league for a while. Seven seasons in the league, and he's been a steady contributor. So I guess that's probably where our expectation levels should be for him. You know, he's not going to light the world on fire, but he's going to be a steadying force with a bunch of young guys in that
yeah,
linebacker room. Um, and hopefully he's familiar with the coaching staff and, you know, what they want to try to do because of history. So we'll see. I mean, do I feel like he's going to replace Devin Bush's production? Probably not. But if he's a reasonable facsimile and we can evaluate some of those younger guys, that's really what the season's about anyway. I think it's getting a look at some of those other guys too.
yeah. I mean, I didn't look at Devin Bush's numbers from last year, but I mean, obviously Carson Schlesinger had 146 tackles last year. I don't think Devin Bush was anywhere. You know,
No.
I don't think he even approached 100, did he, last season?
Devin Bush, yeah, Devin Bush had 3 interceptions, I think, led the team in interceptions.
Devin Bush had an knack for the big play.
Yeah, Quincy Williams has had 1 in his career. So
right. So
I mean,
so the question is, can Quincy Williams be a complement to Carson Schlesinger, and and hopefully, if not make the big play, make the plays that are needed.
Absolutely. Do we know the latest on JOK? I try to keep up. Sometimes they say he's going to try to come back, and then he says he's done with football, and then he reappears. Is he truly done with football? Do we know?
I don't think they're saying those words exactly, Susan, because of insurance considerations. The rest of his contract is still subject to insurance compensation. So the longer that they stretch this out, the more they can potentially get return from insurance. I think. If you're asking me, do I think he's going to play again? I would say probably high 90% he's not going to play again. He's going back to school and he's getting on with his life. And I think that's more procedural from the team's perspective to not announce a retirement.
But he is still a roster spot, though, being taken by him, correct?
Well, he was placed on injured reserve.
Right.
So, yeah. So he does not count against the roster.
Yeah. There's been speculation, and I don't know. I can't credit it to anybody. I can't remember where it came from, but that he's going back to school to potentially join the Browns front office. And I can't think of a smarter guy, a better guy, that you would want in your organization than JOK. So if that's the plan, and he's not able to play, but he could come back to the Browns in another capacity, and that worked out for him, and that's what he wants to do, then I would be excited about that for him.
Just to correct myself and be accurate, he was placed on season-ending PUP, so that's physically unable to perform, slightly different from injured reserve. But anyway, I agree. I think going back to Harvard, getting his master's degree, and preparing for some other role within the organization is terrific. We just have to move on, assuming that we're not going to see him again.
Yeah. And I think that's the Browns obviously have more information than we do, but that's probably how they're handling it. Obviously, if he decided he wanted to play again and got cleared to play, I'm sure they would
love to have him back. Yeah. He was amazing. He had speed like Schlesinger. Can you imagine if we had both of them? It would be lights out.
Yeah, would have been a great combination.
Yeah, those two are two guys that would definitely complement each other. Schlesinger getting to the ball, making all those tackles, and JOK the backfield and the bigger plays, and that's a little bit of that is kind of what I'm hoping for from Quincy Williams, which is really what Devin Bush did last year. But anything Quincy Williams can do, if he can just be a veteran presence,
a leader.
Or any kind of leader, you're right. For the young guys, then great. I agree with what you said earlier, Jeff. So let's look more at Carson Schlesinger. So he's in year 2. Year 1, it was crazy. 11. I missing the tackles. 11 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, two picks, 3 passes defensed, and 3 special teams tackles. I saw a quote from somebody who was more or less saying that there's no way Schlesinger can have as good a season without Myles Garrett on the team. Okay, well, that could be true, but I don't know. He's also going from being a rookie to being a second-year linebacker. He's learned a lot. What do you guys think? What do you expect in this second season? And I know that we have to see how this defensive line looks without Myles. Because I have a feeling that I'm not going to say it's going to be better or as good, but I have a feeling that you're going to see guys step up, that the defensive lines are really going to play well as a unit, and that these guys are going to have a lot of pride this year. And they're going to want to show everybody that hey, it wasn't just Myles. It's it's us too. So I think they've got something to prove. So I think they're going to play pretty darn well this season. It's just a matter of how well. But that just gets me back to the question of kind of what are your expectations for Carson Schlesinger in year 2, and how it fits in with what he has around him on this team.
I think he's going to be great. I expect him to actually outperform his rookie numbers, honestly. He was hobbled for the last, 3 or 4 games. I mean, he had some ailments going, and he left it all out there. You could tell he gives 100%, 110% every time he's on the field. It doesn't matter if we're down 30 or not. You can always see him flying around, which I love. I love that about him. And his tenaciousness to go after the quarterback. I mean, I can still, when you were talking about the tackles for loss, or sacks rather, I remember the one against Green Bay. And I know you guys remember it too, where Jordan Love rolled out to the right, and we're like, oh, he's gonna, in our minds, we're like, yeah, he's gonna complete a pass, right? And Carson, he just came in and just wham, and I'm like, this guy's different. He fits in with us dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll go get the job done. So I expect actually better numbers. I really do. I think. Wow. Like you said, most people are going to step up. More people are going to step up. We have to. It's
a big ask, but I'm not going to sell him short on anything.
Well, Mason Graham's coming into his 3rd year too, right? So I expect him to take another leap. Like, he's that solid interior guy. He's working with his hands, they get to a level where they start working with their hands so much and learning, I watched a clip of Jared Verse talking the guys up about, when they hit you, you have to make sure you hit back with the same amount of force at the same time so you can slip and rip, and I'm like, and just seeing the young guys just listen to him and absorb it and like want to do, it's just, I love it. I love it.
Could give this defensive line some attitude. Yeah.
Yes.
Jeff, before you go, we got a comment from Raul. Mike Junkin was a bull in the china shop.
Ooh, mad dog in the meat market. Come on, Raul. I expect more of you.
Mad dog. in a meat market.
That's what
Right.
Butch Davis called him. He called him a mad dog in a meat market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Carson Schlesinger is
Yeah.
I think
That's
he probably
none of
set
these guys were Mike Junkin.
right. Hopefully. Yeah. Um, uh, it's going to be hard to expect Carson Schlesinger to do more than he did last season. I mean, he set the bar really high for himself last year. And sophomores tend to regress a little bit. So I think if he can come close to the production that he had in 25, I'd be super happy. Just stay healthy. That's the main thing. We're playing the long game with Carson Schlesinger that he is going to be the centerpiece of our defense for the next 10 seasons. And if that's the case, then who cares what he does in 26? I want him to be that guy going forward that we've sort of build this defense around. And I think he can be. I think he will be. But in 26, my expectations just aren't as high. I think I've said on previous shows, Rod, that there's probably going to be some regression. Running a Jim Schwartz defense is something that only Jim Schwartz can do. So there's going to be some adjustments. There's going to be some changes in approach, and players are going to have to figure all of that out on the fly. So I'm expecting the defense to take a little bit of a step back early in the season, hopefully be playing their best ball into December, and we get back to where we were. We're really where we kind of expected the defense to be under Jim Schwartz. I don't think that's going to happen in week one.
You don't think so?
I mean, I'm not worried about losing Myles Garrett nearly as much as I'm worried about all the other changes. And Myles Garrett gave you the flash. He gave you the exciting plays. And he had the ability to change the direction of a game with one of those plays. But in terms of how well this defense can play as a unit, I think that's a bigger concern right now. How can we get everybody on the same page under new leadership, and not drop off a step or two? It's going to be a little bit of a challenge, I think.
I think we'll be okay, especially if we can score. I think that was our big thing last year.
Well,
is our defense
help.
had to do it all.
Our defense off the field a little bit, for sure.
Well, that's what we're going to hope for, okay, Jeff? That's what we're calling.
That's a big ask early in the season as well.
Scoring the football is a good thing. Always a good thing to score the football.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, we can discuss how long it's going to take for that to happen as well, because I don't think that's a week one certainty either.
Yeah. I think you both have good points, because with the new coaches and a lot of new players coming together, you would expect some time for things to kind of mesh and go together. But I also think that we've seen a lot of cohesiveness from this team already, more than usual. So I'm hoping that might help speed things up a little bit.
Most definitely.
I think you should have a foxhole mentality among all these young guys.
Yeah.
That everybody's underestimating them. Many of the national publications are poo-pooing our talent level in various positional groups, and hey, that's fine. Let's underestimate these guys and let them go out there with a chip on their shoulder. That's terrific.
Absolutely.
But again, I'm just not going to put any more pressure on them to try to be what this team has been the last two seasons defensively. That again, that's a really high bar.
If we can score, we won't have to be that, though.
Mhm.
Well, you're
We
right.
didn't-
You're right. I mean, as good as his defense was, it still had times over the past couple of years where it struggled just because it was on
Because
the
of the
field
offense.
constantly. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was the offense's problem, not the
Yep.
defense. So
Yeah, that's
it
true.
does come back to the offense.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of young guys on both sides of the ball, so it's we
We've
kind of have
look,
to wait and
we've
see.
we've added weapons on the offense. It's to be determined how they will utilize all those weapons. There are still a lot of question marks about how the line will perform. I mean, we've plugged in some veterans. We
Mhm.
got younger on the line. But all those guys have to figure out how to play together. And we're hoping for max upside from all of those free agent guys. And again, we have to be realistic that are those guys all going to exceed what they've done in the past? Probably not. So odds are we're going to see some young players on the line as well at some point in the season. I'm already saying I think Austin Barber is going to be starting by, what did I say last week, Rod? Week 4.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so problems are going to come with that. I mean, he's going to get beat at times, right? Part of the learning curve. So, yeah, I think there's a really good chance that by mid to late in the season that these guys can all be on the same page, and you'll see the productivity go up on both sides of the ball. I think to say, well, Carson Schwarzenegger can have, he had 144 tackles last year. Okay, well, 150 plus tackles this year. I hope not, because that means that a lot of guys are getting through the line, right?
Well, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I think, I think when you talk about a better season, I think you're looking maybe at the other numbers. I think he could have a better season by just by doing what he did and just continuing to be a leader and being more aware of what's going on in the field. I'm not saying he wasn't aware, but just being more of a vet. In the
Yeah, having
second
the
year.
experience. Yep.
Yeah. So we could look back and say he had a better season, even if some of his
Numbers,
stats don't measure up. Yeah, I think so. I think so. So just wanted to kind of touch on the depth at linebacker, if you guys want to call it that. So Winston Reed is listed as the will right now, and has he really played much, Jeff? Susan, I don't even know. I mean, I know
me neither.
I don't think he has much experience at all. And then
special teams.
Yes, beyond special teams. And then if you look at the backups, you got Nathaniel Watson, special team guy, Justin Jefferson, rookie, and Easton Mascarenas Arnold, who special teams guy last year, right? I don't think he saw the field. If he did, it wasn't much. So
late in the season.
Okay.
A little bit. Yep.
Yeah. And a lot of people talking about Reed Carrico out of Ohio State and West Virginia. So, but he's kind of deep on the depth chart too. So,
yeah.
Do you like? I mean, we don't want to see it. But do you like the depth? Do you like some of these guys, special teamers and that? I mean, we don't want to see these guys do anything but play special teams. Let's face it.
Correct. That's one of the things that they were knocking is the depth at our linebacking position. But if we can stay healthy with who we have, I think we have a good shot. Going down the depth chart, I don't know. But if they're young and they're hungry, they're going to play, That's what these guys do. They've been playing ball for so long. You give them an opportunity, and sometimes you find a star. So you never know.
The Browns have a history, at least the past several years, of pretty much grabbing anybody off the street, and they come in and they play pretty decent at linebacker. It seems like you can almost say the same thing at corner.
Yes.
But they've had some guys come in and look really good at linebacker, and then the next season comes around and the guy's gone. You're like, man, that guy was so good. Where is he? They're like, oh, they got somebody else.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
Lot like the running back position in terms of how teams value players. The linebackers are sort of interchangeable anymore in the NFL, with a few notable exceptions. But for the most part, the depth at linebacker is pretty easy to replace. There's just a lot of guys out there that can play at a serviceable level. So we have a lot of youth. We're going to be evaluating a lot of young players. I think the guys who have been here a year or two, I don't know that we keep a whole bunch of them. They might all be fighting for one job.
Yeah.
And then some of these long shot guys, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see a long shot guy make the initial 53. I mean, a guy we've talked about, Rod, that it's hard not to like is James Conway. He can put up the kind of numbers that Carson Schlesinger put up. He's done it in college.
Yeah.
I just think that if
He's
we
not
do
even
see
on
him,
the depth chart.
yeah, no, I mean he's
Yeah.
a camp invite, I think. So yeah, if they bring him in and he gets a chance, he could actually surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think what that would mean is that maybe Carson Schlesinger got hurt, which none of us want to see happen.
Oh Lord,
Right,
take
but
that.
we don't want to see him play,
But he's the guy that could step in and fill that position. Okay, that he has a very similar skill set. So
right, he's just got to show he can play special teams in that.
That's it.
Yeah.
And any of these guys beyond the first two are going to make their living on special teams.
Yeah.
So the
I
depth really doesn't matter all that much.
I didn't mention the guy from Buffalo with the name that I can't pronounce. So or
okay.
the writing that I can't read.
Edifon Olafosio.
Olafosio, yeah. So, but he's behind. He's like third on the depth chart at the mic. So, Yeah. Anyways, so
So we'll see how they build out the practice squad. I expect there to be probably 4 or 5 linebackers on the initial 53, and then probably 3 more on the practice squad. So a lot of these guys are going to be around, and we could see them shuffling in and out.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Keep them fresh. Definitely keep them fresh.
Yeah, I mean, just you can bring guys up from the practice squad 3 times, I think. So yeah, just week to week, I don't know who the depth linebacker might be.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We'll be
the other possibility
more about roster spots later, but yeah.
The other possibility is that the Browns may still be shopping for somebody here with some of that available cap space that we talked about earlier.
Possible.
Is there someone in mind?
I'd be shocked if it's a linebacker, but you never know.
Yeah, at this point, probably not. Just depends on who's a cap casualty. That might fit their short to intermediate plan for the roster.
Right. Gotta get rolls coming up here. I don't know. You think Greg Williams would still be around, guys, if they fired him over Freddie? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Far removed from that.
Yeah.
What's Greg Williams done the last 3 or 4 seasons? Besides make a lot of weird comments on social media.
He's on social media. He does a show on Big Play, I think.
Yeah. Does he?
Yeah.
That's
or he
funny.
did. Or he was. I think he's still doing that, but not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the back, the defensive backs now. A part of the defense that that our defensive coordinator apparently emphasizes. So it's going to be kind of interesting. Just looking at the roster, I mean, the Browns they brought in a nice player with and Emmanuel
Warren.
McNeil Warren. Sorry, I mean I knew his name, and I'm trying to figure out what I wrote down because that's not what I wrote down, guys. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Oh, I wrote MCN is what I wrote down, and then I'm like, it says McNeil Mon Warren. I'm like, that's what I'd write down. Anyways, so they brought him in. So you got to like where they are at safety. With 3 starting quality safeties. So let's just start right there. My first question is how long before we see Emmanuel McNeil Warren, and how long before we see him make an impact, or contribute, however you want to phrase it? I'll kind of leave that open ended. Susan, what do you think?
I think that I think he's going to be a nice piece for us. I don't see him starting, but I do see him getting playing time. It'll be interesting how the defensive coordinator wants to line these guys up as far as blitzing, as far as being in the back, whatever. Because I know last year, in Schwartz, he had Delpit and stuff coming sometimes on a blitz. Hickman stayed back primarily. Our corners did their job. There wasn't really, that I can remember, a complete dysfunction in the back end. Maybe I'm not remembering correctly. That tends to happen as Browns fans. As soon as the season's over, you try to forget what you just witnessed.
We do our best.
Yeah, we do. But if he has to go in, I think he is a very nice piece for us. He's young and he's got a lot of talent. Maybe you sit him for a while just to learn. I don't know. Would you put him on special teams? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I think we'll see him in preseason. That'll be fun. Hopefully he fits right in and does what we need him to do, because you have to have one of the reasons you have one of the best defenses is if your safety can lock it down in the back and can communicate with everybody else up front. So we'll see.
Grant Delpit plays special teams, so I don't think there's a problem with Emmanuel McNeil Warren playing special teams.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, so Rod, this is an area where I'm going to contradict myself, because I think Mike Ruttenberg might have a leg up on Jim Schwartz in this part of the defense. We're going to see a lot more exotic play in the secondary than we've traditionally seen out of Jim Schwartz and Joe Woods before him, and probably Greg Williams too. This is Mike Ruttenberg's wheelhouse, and I think that they liked the idea of bringing in a third safety an awful lot. They probably would have taken Emmanuel McNeil Warren at the top of the second round if Denzel Boston hadn't fallen. I think I've heard that said many times. So for them to trade back up into the second round to snag him a lot lower than they thought they thought he would have been gone long before that.
Yeah, to get both of those guys.
Yeah, both of those guys. So I'm going to put some pressure on Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I'm going to set the bar pretty high for him this year. I honestly think that he can be this year's Carson Schlesinger because of the emphasis that is going to be placed on that third safety this year. He's going to see its time as a big slot. He's going to see time in the box. They're going to use him as a spy against certain quarterbacks, like Lamar Jackson. And I think you're going to see some of that JOK utilization that we saw in the past with Emmanuel McNeil Warren, where he will just sort of be what they call a Swiss Army knife. like has become so popular in the league with the Seahawks winning a Super Bowl with Nick
Yep.
Eamon in a similar role, right? So, um, yeah, I hope that's not kiboshing the kid, but I think the sky's the limit for him this year. He's probably going to get a ton of snaps, and Ronnie Hickman is going to be a valuable third piece as a depth safety, but they're going to find a specific role for him, and they're going to move McNeil Warren around a lot.
That sounds like fun. I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
So, are you saying that you're going to see more packages with just Delpit and McNeil Warren out there versus all three guys out there? Versus
I think we're
safeties?
I think we're gonna see all three of them out there a lot.
Okay.
And it could be that McNeil Warren is getting a lot of slot responsibility. We know that that's an issue for us this year, right?
Yeah.
Covering those big slots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that's a role that they envision for him already. So you could see more two high safeties than we've seen in a long time here.
Yeah.
Just different formations that will keep the offense guessing a little bit more. That one of the things about Jim Schwartz is that his defenses were pretty predictable. I mean,
Yes, they were.
He kind of lined up and said, "Okay, I dare you to beat me," right?
Well,
I
he
think
had the
there's gonna
personnel to do that, kind of.
well,
but,
yeah,
it
and
worked.
I think there's going to be more subterfuge in terms of hiding formations and so forth with Mike Ruttenberg. I think there has to be, and hopefully that can compensate for the loss of Myles Garrett, and not in terms of sacks necessarily, but in terms of big plays. That we can turn the ball over in the secondary more than we've seen in quite a while.
Well, I mean, even with Miles, this defense has not been big on turnovers.
No.
It had its share of big plays last year, but it hasn't had a significant amount of turnovers, and as long as I can remember, honestly.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, who's the last guy who had a big number of picks or anything on this team?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah. So for me, that's how I'm going to be evaluating the defense is are we turning the ball over in the secondary? And if we are, then that is going to give us a great chance to win some football games.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of interesting because the Browns are, we feel that they're very strong at safety right now. And there's some other guys that it's going to be a fight to see who that fourth safety is, I think. But then you look at corner and, it's interesting because you got Denzel and Tyson Campbell, and then you got a bunch of guys, and and you kind of want to say, we don't have any depth, but then I'm like, this is the Browns. Somebody always steps up on the Browns and plays cornerback well, and these guys always end up playing corner well. So I almost don't want to worry about it at all.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think?
Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell are the two guys that are going to let you do all those things that I was just talking about.
Absolutely,
Yeah, right.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
So if you're without one of those two guys, it's going to tie your hands a little bit in terms of being able to do those things, right? So, we've seen some good play out of D'Angelo Ross late in the season. Dom Jones has shown some flashes, but it's really a question mark beyond those first two guys. And the same thing, like we said, in the slot. They brought in Miles Bryant, who probably is going to be the front runner for that third cornerback position in traditional sets. So, I'm a little worried about how it would impact the defense when one of those guys goes down, because we just don't have a proven third guy in my mind right now.
And I agree. I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. When Denzel's hurt or out, we suffer. They always throw to that side, and then that makes the other corner that much more susceptible to mistakes and things of that nature. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, all this talk about trading Denzel is lunacy in my mind. That you only do that when you feel the season is lost.
Yep.
Because it's going to be pretty painful to play the rest of the season without him.
Yes.
And I'll say this, even with Denzel and Tyson Campbell, I think that if I were the Browns, just looking at the parts of the roster that we've looked at so far, Jeff, and kind of just know what I know at this point, and not having any idea who's going to make the team. If I were going to go out and get somebody to help this team, it would probably be another corner. I mean, it seems to me that that's where they could really use some help and some insurance.
I was really hoping that that's where we would spend our money in free agency. Was a guy like that, a guy who could play in the slot or could step in behind one of our existing corners if they went down. That's just something that didn't happen in free agency. So, and those guys don't grow on trees. So we'll see. I think it could be a little sketchy at times because we know Denzel misses games. It's just part of the equation with them. So I think we're going to be juggling some of these younger guys in and out. Somebody needs to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, so that's my other question is, if somebody were to rise to the occasion, who's most likely out of those guys? Any clue? I'll be honest, I don't feel like I've seen enough of any of these guys to
nope.
To know. It could,
really
it's
no.
kind of like throw the names in the hat.
Right.
Well, that's part of the fun, right? I guess.
Yeah. I mean, D'Angelo Ross, Trey Avery, Dom Jones, they were all here last year, and had their moments.
They played
Dom Jones got hurt late in the year. Daniel Thomas has got some guaranteed money. Oh, he's a safety. Nate Evans got some guaranteed money. I don't know, Rod. At this point, take your pick.
Maybe somebody will emerge in the preseason.
It's going to have to be it's going to have to be a guy who wins that job in camp.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to watch.
It should be fun, and hopefully, much like linebacker.
You say fun, I say scary.
Yeah. Hopefully, much like linebacker, we don't have to rely on a whole lot of depth this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'll show you what you have, but we don't necessarily want to see that.
Yeah.
No.
So Susan brought up the idea of kind of talking some strengths and weaknesses on this team. So we use the last part of the show here to kind of go over that. I guess that's not just players. That's some other parts of the team as well. So for me, I guess the first weakness that I have to put out there, even though I don't really know that it's a weakness, is the fact that the Browns have all these new coaches.
Right.
First-year coaches.
Yep.
I honestly think that Todd Monken could end up being a strength on this team. The other coaches could end up being a strength on this team. But right now, you kind of have to look at it as weaknesses that you've got all this turnover. And, and these guys taking on these roles that they haven't had before.
Yeah.
It's going to be boom or bust, right? Boom or bust. We'll find out.
We're hoping. We're
Well-
hoping boom. We always hope boom in Cleveland.
Kaboom. Kaboom. I like
Not kaboom. Yeah, no, not kaboom.
Kaboom. We've seen kaboom a few times.
Well,
Yeah.
those are the new trading cards. They're called kabooms, and they're kind of interesting. So,
Okay.
there's
Oh yeah.
flash, but
I've seen them.
I was down when we got Monken. I was actually kind of excited when we got him. What he was able to do with Lamar is incredible, in my opinion. Lamar he got better with his accuracy, but let's be honest, that's not his strength. And he's getting older, and we have a young guy that knows how to get out of the pocket a little bit, and he's got an arm. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like on offense for us, especially with Judkins coming back. It's his second season. We have Fannin. It's just exciting to me. Like all these weapons. We have weapons, guys. We have people that will go over the middle and sacrifice. They don't do anymore.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm also kind of concerned about the coaching staff, Rod. We have a lot of guys who are first timers. We'll see. I think you've got a lot of young players who are moldable. You can build the kind of program that you want. But I don't know that these guys have a lot of experience doing that in their current positions. A lot of first timers generally leads to a lot of miscommunication and mistakes and so forth, especially early. So yeah, I would agree that's at least a big question mark, if not a weakness for the team right now. To see how those guys all roll into their new positions, right? So I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about the depth that we talked about in the back seven. I think the defensive line is going to, of course, be a strength again for us. Will it be as many sacks as in the past? Probably not. But I think the defensive line is still where we're going to butter our bread. Week in and week out. If you ask me what other strengths I see right now, I see a lot of question marks. But I think the best chance we have to have a strength is in the running game. And if this coaching staff and the players buy in to running the football, I mean, we've been asking for this for years, right? Just
since we came back in '99,
give us 25 carries,
please.
Right? I mean, we want to see.
Hold up, we haven't had a Nick Chubb talk for a while. We were asking for Nick to get 25 carries all the time, and we couldn't get him past 20. Honestly,
right? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
Especially later in his career. Yeah. And he still found a way to get to 100 yards, right? But I think with the guys that we have in the running back room and the rebuilt line strength is run blocking more so than pass blocking. These guys are going to get after it in run blocking, with one exception, I think. They're all primarily best at run blocking, right? So let's get after it in the run game. Let's get all these guys a lot of touches, and let's take some pressure off our quarterbacks, our question marks at quarterbacks. That's just going to make it so much easier for these young receivers too. So if that turns into a strength for us, I think that's something we can build on as an identity, right? Like Susan was saying, what Monken did with Lamar, it was also built on the fact that they could run the ball, not just Lamar running the ball, right? But other guys running the ball, okay, right. and high percentage passes. So we've got the pieces in place to do that. I think it all starts with establishing the run and staying committed to it.
Yeah. So that kind of leads me to a question. So, I think Susan, you were talking about Munkin and Lamar and how he can hopefully help Shador. Okay.
Yes.
Who else on this offense can benefit most from Todd Munkin coming in and kind of using their abilities? I mean, we've heard how Todd Munkin kind of crafts the offense around players' abilities and what they do best.
Yes.
So which other players can benefit most from, I'll just say, from playing for Todd Munkin in his offense?
Well, to be honest, I was a little upset that Njoku left, only because having both Fannin and Njoku kind of was nice, even as bookends for, to help the run game or whatever maybe. But to watch him and how he used Mark Andrews and that Ravens offense, and David Njoku with a perfect body for it, tall, willing to go get it. But I think Fannin is gonna shine again. I think he's gonna be. You can't. Why would you double team a tight end? It doesn't happen. So I look for him to help the run game, chip a little bit, but then go get it. And I think it's gonna be amazing. I think he'll end up. Honestly, how many touchdowns did he have last year? I don't even know. Yeah.
5 or
He's
6?
I was thinking 5, but then
Not sure.
I don't think it was a real big number, but 5 to may have been a little more.
Well, he likes to use the tight ends, so I'm gonna say Fannin. Yeah, is probably he's gonna be our best wide receiver. He was even last year, in my opinion, our best wide receiver. I know we have young guys that can run the slot, the give and go. We got Bond that's got speed, but I honestly think Fannin is the one that's going to benefit the most.
He had 6 receiving and 1 rushing.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
7. So sold him short.
Nice.
Yeah, I've said in the past that I think every defense in the league is going to try to take away Harold Fannin. Maybe they won't be able to. Maybe you're right, Susan. I just think it's going to have to come from other guys too. So who's it going to benefit the most? I'm going to give you 2 names. There's a reason they took Casey Concepcion in the first round, because they're looking to replicate Zay Flowers.
Yep.
And so I think he will get multi-purpose yards and opportunities to be that kind of do everything player. And the other guy I think it's going to benefit a lot is Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
He's going to be put into situations where he can use his legs, his speed, like we saw occasional glimpses of last year. No more of this running him between the tackles bullshit.
Please.
We're gonna put these little guys in positions to that's what you expect from a functioning offense. So
if we can get minimal from these wide receivers, I mean, we didn't even have that last year. It was really bad. Fannin was it. Well, now we have new pieces to play with, so we'll see.
There were a lot of problems on the offense last year. Not least of which was that the quarterback had about a second and a half to do something before he got crushed.
Right.
So you hope that all of this comes together, right?
Absolutely.
But what is the offensive game plan? What's the identity of this offense going to be? I think it has to be things that you can control. I think it has to be high percentage stuff. It has to be keeping the defense a little bit off balance, right? We're with all these young guys, we're not in a position to just play smash mouth. Yes, I want to run the football, but I want to run it when they're not expecting me to run it. I want to pass it when they're not expecting me to pass it. Those kinds of things, right? That That's
Yeah.
going to be, in my mind, the biggest difference between Todd Monken and Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski was very much a system guy. He was a by the sheet guy, right?
Yeah.
And he relied on his players to go out and beat the player that they were lined up against. I think we're going to see from Todd Monken in the offense, we're going to see a bit more of the unexpected this year. And you know what? That's exciting when it works. It's catastrophic when it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Right. It should give us, more chance, more opportunities to score.
Right.
In the long run.
And if we score more, then
we can
our
play a little
defense does
defense.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
See? It's all coming
Yeah.
together, fellas.
Yeah, when I asked the question, I was thinking of Dylan Sampson, but I think the real answer is that it could benefit pretty much everybody on the offense.
It could, yeah.
There's a chance. Depending on share of targets and that, Isaiah Bond could potentially, get more opportunities. It could help Quinshon Judkins a lot too. Quinshon Judkins ran into a lot of brick walls last year, but that could not only be the offensive line, that some of that's
rookie stuff,
your system and when you're running and what type of plays you're running too.
Right.
So and maybe some of the other wide receivers on the team and the tight end. So we'll see. I'm excited to see just the difference in the offense. To feel like guys are actually getting a shot.
Right.
to do what they do best. So that's my hope.
I hope for that too. It was tough watching a lot of these guys get stifled under the Stefanski offense. You know what I mean? It had to be frustrating. Like, I don't understand a lot of what he did. I don't understand when you come out in your first drive, you throw it first 3 downs. You know what I mean? And then your defense is on the field. I never got that. Old school Browns is you run it, you pass it, But more times than not, you get that first down off your first 2 runs because we usually have good backs. The offensive line is going to be fun to watch as well. Maybe we'll find some real studs on that offensive line that can anchor the offensive line for a while. We really could use that.
Might take a few weeks, but yeah, I'm hopeful. And yeah.
Jeff's like 2027. No.
Just give me an offense that I can watch and not have to like scream at and not predict every play as it's being conceived, right?
Yeah,
right.
We all know that it just doesn't happen where you replace all 5 starters on the offensive line. So there are going to be hiccups.
Of course.
So we have to expect that. It's a matter of how long it's going to take for the offensive line to play well enough that that the offense can do something. To put together enough good team snaps, to get things going. Hopefully by week 3, and who knows? Maybe they'll play some good football the first couple of weeks, but I'm sure there will be hiccups. But then the quicker they can get that going, the sooner we'll see what the rookies can do, the wide receivers and what the Browns have in the running game.
Yes.
See how
we have definitely drafted well the last 2 years. We have definitely drafted. This is the best drafts I think in the last couple of years. So it'll be fun. See the second year guys, take another leap. Hopefully not fall behind, like Jeff said with Schlesinger. I want him to do,
Yeah.
But we'll see.
That's going to be fun. I think most of us are going to have hopefully realistic expectations this year.
It's possible for Carson Schlesinger to not play as well as he did last year and still have an amazing second season.
Absolutely, like you said, you're hoping he doesn't have 100. What was it? 156 tackles.
144 tackles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, he could easily, have a great season and not hit those numbers, guys. So yeah, definitely. So I think we pretty well covered the strengths and weaknesses. We kind of went a little bit around about, but it was fun getting there. So
Yeah, it was.
we kind of covered all the positions and everything. So so yeah. So Susan, it's been great talking Browns, catching up with you a
Always,
little bit.
always, fellas.
Yeah. Are there any thoughts you'd like to leave everybody with? Any words of wisdom or any closing thoughts before we get on out of here?
Uh, just get ready. Get ready. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot better than a lot of people are thinking it might be. But I'm always an optimist. Always. Once that draft is over, and I
Yeah.
just I don't know. It's like that switch turns on, and you
Yeah.
just get everything churning again, and you get ready for it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have some luck, and then maybe hit a stride mid-season. That would be nice. Everybody stay healthy, and hopefully we have our quarterback of the future.
Let's hope. Yeah.
That sounds
We're in that optimism boat together.
Good. What about you, Jeff? What about you? Not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with all that happening. I would love for the stars to line up for us just once. That would be so nice. Yeah, look, I think it's another investment year. You know, if you're talking about this like a business, it's an investment year. We're
Yeah.
trying to build something for the future here, and we still have a lot of question marks. We've answered a lot of questions. We've put a lot of young talent onto this roster now. We've got some things to build on. There's still an awful lot of unknowns, you know, so we'll have to go through camp and see how many of those are addressed. Maybe we're just going to have to be patient this year and let some of these young guys find their way. I'm sure some of them will shock us. I think I'm expecting that out of Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Maybe there'll be 2 or 3 other guys that'll just blow our minds with how they play in their rookie seasons. That would be so much fun to watch. And
Wouldn't
if it
it?
leads us to
Yeah.
6 or 7 wins or better, terrific. Even better, right? So let's see how it all evolves.
100%. All right. This has been the Browns Blitz. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.